tonight: Pearl Bailey, Larry Kert, Judy Q, Pamela Myers, Jerry Orbach, and special guest Jerry Herman. Join Master of Ceremonies Marvin Hamlisch in a musical salute to Broadway. In performance at the White House. Our hosts, President and Mrs. Reagan.
Welcome, and welcome to the first in a new series of concerts from the White House, celebrating the vigor and genius of American music. Our musical director is again my very good friend, Marvin Hamlisch. This 1988 series is a salute to one of our country's most enduring cultural treasures, Broadway. And when we say Broadway, we mean, of course, not just that fabulous cluster of theaters along New York City's oldest avenue. We mean all the energy it's generated. The composers, directors, builders of scenery, the stars, and the hopeful kids from all over the world who come to be part of it. Our concert today features Showstoppers. Those magic moments that have convinced generations of audiences that there's no predicting Broadway. It happens like this. Everything on stage is going along just fine when suddenly a song is over and the theater bursts into applause. Not just appreciation, but acclamation. Something has grabbed them all. The cast is happy, of course, but they can't continue. Not just yet. The show has, well, it stopped. And this evening we're going to hear some of those magic moments sung by the very performers who created the magic and stopped the show. You know, I was on Broadway once. I usually closed out of town. But I was in a musical called Lute Song with the one and only Mary Martin. And we got good reviews and had a respectable run. But I was always a little bit nervous about one thing. You know, those legendary stories. Just before the curtain goes up, something happens to the leading lady. And the girl with the small part is suddenly thrust into the limelight. Well, if Mary Martin couldn't go on one night, and they called on me, would I be ready? Would I be able to step into her shoes?
Nancy, I just got word the star broke her ankle and you're going on. Now listen. I've got to tell you this. You're going out there a first lady, but you've got to come back a star. All right?
You think I can do it, Jerry?
Do I think, never mind what I think, you think. Think of all those kids you'll be throwing out of work if you don't do this. I mean, think of the songs that will wither and die if you don't get out there and sing them. Think of the scenery that will never be seen, the costumes never worn, the orchestrations never heard. Nancy, think of musical comedy, the most glorious words in the English language. Nancy, think of Broadway. Come on along and listen to the lullaby of Broadway. The hip hooray and ballyhoo, the lullaby of Broadway. The rumble of the subway train, the rattle of the taxis, the daffodils who entertain at Angelo's and Maxie's when a Broadway baby says goodnight. It's early in the morning. Manhattan babies don't sleep tight until the dawn. Good night, baby. Good night. Let's call it a day. Listen to the lullaby of old Broadway. And you can give them the old razzle-dazzle, razzle-dazzle. Give them an act with lots of flash in it, and the reaction will be passionate. Give them the old hocus-pocus, bead and feather. How can they see with sequins in their eyes? Long as you keep them way off balance, how can they spot you got no talents? Razzle-dazzle them, and they'll make you a star. Well, hi, folks. I'm Jerry Orbach. Thank you. And this show is about showstoppers, show-stopping songs, and both of those songs sure qualify. I had the privilege to sing Lullaby of Broadway in 42nd Street, and that was for about 4.5 years. And the song Razzle Dazzle, of course, from the show Chicago, which is very dear to my heart because that's where I met my wife, Elaine. And usually when you think of a show-stopping song, you think of a big, loud, knock-'em-dead production number. But here's one from my first Broadway show, Carnival, that stopped the show, and it's just a simple little ballad. Love makes the world go round. Love makes the world go round. Somebody soon will love you if no one loves you now. High in some silent sky, love sings a silver song, making the earth whirl softly. Love makes the world go round. The show that got me a Tony Award was Promises, Promises, which had a few unknowns connected with it, like Neil Simon, who wrote the book, and Burt Bacharach and Hal David, who did the music and lyrics, and of course David Merrick, who produced it. It had a pretty good chance, we thought. But just before we opened out of town, it was decided that we needed a little song to help a scene in the second act. And the boys went home and overnight came up with this little duet that became the biggest hit from the show. What do you get when you fall in love? A girl with a pin to burst your bubble. That's what you get for all your trouble. I'll never fall in love again. I'll never fall in love again. Don't tell me what it's all about, 'cause I've been there and I'm glad I'm out of those chains that bind you. That is why I'm here to remind you, what do you get when you fall in love? You only get lies and pain and sorrow. So for at least until tomorrow, I'll never fall in love again. I'll never fall in love again. Falling in love, I don't think has ever been more beautifully expressed than in my first show in New York, which was off Broadway, not on, 28 years ago. I had the joy of introducing a song that became a classic. I mean, I knew it was a good show, Marvin, but I didn't think it would run for 28 years, and it's still running. From the Fantastics. Try to remember the kind of September when life is slow and oh so mellow. Try to remember the kind of September when grass was green and grain was yellow. Try to remember remember the kind of September when you were a tender and callow fellow. Try to remember, and if you remember, then follow. Try to remember when life was so tender that no one wept except the willow. Try to remember when life was so tender that dreams were kept beside your pillow. Try to remember when life was so tender that love was an ember about to billow. Try to remember, and if you remember, then follow. Deep in December, it's nice to remember, although you know the snow will follow. Deep in December, it's nice to remember, without a hurt, the heart is hollow. Deep in December, it's nice to remember the fire of September that made us mellow. Deep in December, our hearts should remember and follow. Follow.
You know, once you've been in the audience of a Broadway show and have actually seen a showstopper, you never forget the experience. It just stays with you forever. I remember as a teenager going to see West Side Story and being knocked out by the glorious music of Leonard Bernstein and writing lyrics for his first Broadway show, Stephen Sondheim. The man who played Tony and has some showstoppers of his own is with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Kert.
Could be, who knows? There's something due any day. I will know right away, soon as it shows. It'd make him cannonballing down through the sky, gleaming its eye bright as a rose. Who knows? It's only just out of reach, down the block on a beach, under a tree. I got a feeling there's a miracle due, gonna come true, coming to me. Could it be? Yes, it could. Something's coming, something good. If I can wait, something's coming, I don't know what it is, but it is gonna be great. With a click, with a shock, phone will jingle, door will knock, open the latch. Something's coming, don't know when, but it's soon. Catch the moon, one-handed catch. Around the corner, or whistling down the river. Come on, deliver to me. Will it be? Yes, it will. Maybe just by holding still, it'll be there. Come on, something, come on in. Don't be shy, meet a guy, pull up a chair. The air is humming, and something great is coming. Who knows? It's only just out of reach, down the block on a beach. Maybe tonight, maybe tonight, maybe tonight. You know, 1957, West Side Story. I was in the chorus of a musical called Mr. Wonderful, starring Sammy Davis Jr. In the show was a young singer-dancer girl by the name of Chita Rivera, who had a little number that I danced and sang behind. One night she came in the theater and she said, "Guess what?" I said, "What?" She said, "I got the part of Anita in a new musical called Gangway." And she said, "There's an open call tomorrow for 150 dancers, of which I was one." I went to the open chorus call for Gangway. 150 dancers. I was the 18th person to audition, and I was the first person rejected. I left the show. I went back into Mr. Wonderful. About 3 weeks later, I got a call from Bert Sheveloff, who was the man that wrote Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. He asked me if I would like to do an industrial show for Esquire magazine. I said yes. In the show, it's all about clothes. You show off clothes. And I sang this calypso song that was, "This shirt is 33% cotton, 42% wool." Some silly song, up and down the scale, singing very high. Well, in the audience for that industrial show was Mr. Stephen Sondheim. He came backstage and he said, "Larry Kert, my name is Stephen Sondheim. I am the lyricist for the musical West Side Story. Gangway was since changed to West Side Story." He said, "I'd like to set up an audition for you for the part of Tony." I said, "No, no, no. Every day you read in the paper you're looking for a 6-foot blonde Polish tenor. Take a look, guys. I can't do it." Anyway, he set me up an audition. I went in and I sang, and 3 weeks later, I got a phone call from Mr. Arthur Lawrence saying, "How does it feel to have a lead on Broadway?" Well, we opened August 18th, right down the street here at the National Theater, August 18th, 1957. And every night I got a chance to sing this song. The most beautiful sound I ever heard. Maria, 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 Maria. All the beautiful sounds of the world in a single word. Maria, 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 Maria. Maria, Maria, Maria. I've just met a girl named Maria, and suddenly that name will never be the same to me. Maria, I've just kissed a girl named Maria, and suddenly I found how wonderful a song can be. Playing, say it's soft and it's almost like praying. Maria, I'll never stop saying Maria. It's almost like praying. Maria, I'll never stop saying Maria. The most beautiful sound I ever heard.
A very big hit on Broadway these days is Les Miserables, nicknamed Les Mis. It featured a wonderful talent who received a Tony nomination for her performance. We're very glad to have her here. I'd like to introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Judy Q.
My first role in a Broadway show was in a show that I did with Larry Kert. It was called Rags. That was a showstopper. We opened on Thursday and we closed on Saturday. Guess that's one way to stop the show. But things are going better now. I'm about to open in a new Broadway musical called Chess, which has lots of wonderful songs. Now, in Les Mis, there was a wonderful song that unfortunately somebody else got to sing. But tonight is my turn. I dreamed a dream in time gone by, when hope was high and life worth living. I dreamed that love would never die. I dreamed that God would be forgiving. Then I was young and unafraid, and dreams were made and used and wasted. There was no ransom to be paid, no song unsung, no wine untasted. But the tigers come at night, with their voices soft as thunder, as they tear your hope apart, as they turn your dream to shame. He slept a summer by my side. He filled my days with endless wonder. He took my childhood in his stride, but he was gone when autumn came. And still I dream he'll come to me, that we will live the years together. But there are dreams that cannot be, and there are storms we cannot weather. I had a dream my life would be so different from this hell I'm living, so different now from what it seemed. Now life has killed the dream I dreamed.
Hello, my name is Pamela Myers, and the year I graduated from college, I went to New York to get my big Broadway break. And funny enough, I got it. I was in New York about 3 weeks, and I had an audition for Stephen Sondheim's new musical called Company. And after a couple of auditions, Mr. Sondheim came up to me and he said, "I'm going to write you a song." And that's how I found out I got the part. Well, indeed he did, and the first day of rehearsal he came in and he sat down at the piano and he sang it himself, of course in a key that he was comfortable with. And I heard it and I went, that's the highest song I've ever heard. I thought I'll never be able to sing that. I sang it sound kind of like up here like this. So I thought, oh no, I'll be fired. I'll never be able to sing it. And he said, don't worry, of course, we will lower the key for you. So he did, and I rehearsed it and rehearsed it and rehearsed it. And I sang it for him, and he said, fine. Now, sing it 3 times faster. Another 100 people just got off of the train and came up through the ground, while another 100 people just got off of the bus and are looking around. Another 100 people who got off of the plane and are looking at us who got off of the train and the plane and the bus maybe yesterday. It's a city of strangers. Some come to work, some to play. The city of strangers. Some come to stare, some to stay. And every day, the ones who stay can find each other in the crowded streets and the guarded parks, by the rusty fountains and the dusty trees with the battered barks. And they walk together past the postered walls with the crude remarks. And they meet at parties through the friends of friends who they never know. Will you pick me up or do I meet you there? Shall we let it go? Did you get my message? Cause I looked in vain. Can we see each other Tuesday if it doesn't rain? Look, I'll call you in the morning or my service will explain. And another 100 people just got off of the train. It's a city of strangers. Some come to work, some to play. A city of strangers. Some come to stare, some to stay. And every day, some go away. Or they find each other in the crowded streets and the guarded parks, by the rusty fountains and the dusty trees with the battered barks. And they walk together past the postered walls with the crude remarks. And they meet at parties through the friends of friends who they never know. Will you pick me up or do I meet you there? Shall we let it go? Did you get my message? Cause I looked in vain. Can we see each other Tuesday if it doesn't rain? Look, I'll call you in the morning or my service will explain. And another 100 people just got off of the train. And another 100 people just got off of the train. And another 100 people just got off of the train. And another 100 people just got off of the train. Another 100 people just got off of the train. We were in company together.
Yes, I certainly do.
And you were in love with 3 different girls.
3 different girls.
And I was one of them.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
And we sang a trio.
Yes. No.
Well, tonight the other 2 girls are not here.
Right.
So I'm going to sing all 3 parts myself.
Watch this.
You could drive a person crazy. You could drive a person mad. First you make a person hazy, so a person could be had. Then you leave a person dangling, sadly, outside your door, which it only makes a person gladly want you even more. I could understand a person if it's not a person's bag. I could understand a person if a person was a bag. A person that titillates a person and then leaves her flat is crazy. He's a troubled person. He's a truly crazy person himself. You big jerk. You big creep. You big dope. When a person's personality is personable, you should not have sit like a lump. It's harder than a matador coercionable to try to get you off of your rump. So single and attentive and attractive a man is everything a person could wish. But turning off the person is the act of a man. Try to pull the hooks out of fish. Knock, knock, is anybody there? Knock, knock, it really isn't fair. Knock, knock, I'm working all my charms. Knock, knock, zombies in my arms. Oh, that sweet affection, what is wrong? Where's a loose connection? How long, oh Lord, how long? Bobby, baby, Bobby, 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 you could drive a person buggy. You could blow a person's cool, doo-doo, doo-doo. could understand a person. If he wasn't gonna do-do-do-do-do, I could understand a person. If he actually was dead, do-do-do-do, exclusive you, elusive you. Will any person ever get the juice of you? You're crazy. You're a lovely person. You're a moving, deep, maladjusted, never to be trusted, crazy person. Yourself. Bobby is my hobby and I'm giving it up.
Only you, you're the only thing I'll see forever. In my eyes, in my words, and in everything I do. Nothing else but you, ever.
And there's nothing for me but Maria. Every sight that I see is Maria.
Tony, Tony.
Always you, every thought I'll ever know. Everywhere I go, you'll be you and me. Tonight, tonight won't be just any night. Tonight there will be no morning star. Tonight, tonight I'll see my love tonight, and for us stars will stop where they are. Today the minutes seem like hours, the hours go so slowly, and still the sky is bright. Good night, good night. Sleep well, and when you dream, dream of me. Tonight.
Being a composer, I can tell you there's a great thrill and a great feeling of accomplishment in writing a song that you hope will stop the show and then having an audience let you know that you succeeded. Now, when I think of Showstoppers, I think of one composer particularly who has written both words and music for some of the greatest showstoppers ever. I remember seeing 16 waiters singing Hello, Dolly, and afterwards hearing applause that lasted over 2 minutes. And the same composer also wrote Maine. Not bad. Ladies and gentlemen, a terrific person, a wonderful composer, Jerry Herman. Basically, I mean, all of us as composers, we have, when we're doing a show, we have like about, what, 12, 14 places where we can, put in a song. And I'm always wondering, where do you think the showstopper is going to be? I mean, how do you decide this is the slot that I want to, put the showstopper?
I always look for the emotional high spot in the script I'm working on. For example, the second act of Hello, Dolly has a scene where Dolly comes back to the Harmonia Gardens. Thornton Wilder called it her return to the human race. And I knew that moment required a special kind of song that audiences could identify with. In La Cage, that high spot is at the end of Act 1. And so I designed the song, I Am What I Am, to be the powerhouse in that musical. But Marvin, I wonder if you know that I once had a showstopper that I didn't even want to write.
But you just didn't want to write the song? What show?
Title song of Maine.
You didn't want to write the song Maine?
It came just 2 years after the crazy success of the Dolly title song. And I thought, I just couldn't do it again. Lightning doesn't strike twice, and so I wrote the whole score and announced to my producers that there'd be no title song.
So there was no title song of a film, of the show called Maine, which I'm sure made the producers just thrilled.
They weren't exactly delighted about it. In fact, one of them came to visit me. a couple of weeks before rehearsals began and said, Jerry, you've just got to give us the title song. It'll do so much for the show. His name was Bobby Fryer, and I really liked him, and I couldn't turn him down. So I tossed something off in about 20 minutes, and opening night was I surprised.
20 minutes.
20 minutes. You coaxed the blues right out of the horn. You charmed the husk right off of the corn. May, you've got the banjo strumming and plunking out a tune to beat the band. The whole plantation's hung since you brought Dixie back to Dixieland. You make the cotton easy to pick. May, you give my old mint julep a kick. May, whoever thought a Yankee would put our little Dixie bells to shame? You've made us feel alive again. You've given us the drive again to make the South revive again, man. Your special fascination proved to be inspirational. I think you're just sensational. Name, name,
I must say, I love the Hello Dolly. I mean, the whole score of Hello Dolly. But although I think most people always remember Hello Dolly from that wonderful number, I do have another, what I call my favorite in that show, and it's the parade song,
It's my favorite too, Marvin.
Oh, good.
Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna go and taste Saturday's high life. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna get some life back into my
Oh, Jerry, I'm gonna move out in front. I'll be number just past my life with the rest of them, with the best of them. I can hold my head up high.
I'm gonna race the road.
I'm gonna carry on.
Give me an old trombone.
I'm taking an old baton
before the parade passes by.
Oh my goodness, Marv, I'm gonna start bringing out numbers for you here. 1946, my first show, St. Louis Woman. I got the Donaldson Award for that. I didn't even know what it was, and I got it. That's what I did. That was 1946. Would you believe, you girls? Then I was working on the matrimonial situation. But the advice I gave to the girls in a show-stopping number in 46 still works. In 1988, I said, will I or won't I? Do I? Don't I? Now you've been telling everyone you've met that you want a sample of the way I pet. You've had all the sample that you're gonna get. Legalize my name. I was walking much more gracefully then. Will I kiss you? Ain't the issue. You've been telling everyone you've met that you want a sample of the way I pet. You've had all the sample that you're gonna get. Legalize. I was a rascal even then, honey. My name. For we ever can dwell out of one valise, you must learn how to spell justice of the peace. And honey, I went searching for a minister right away. My heart was just glowing, sparks are showing. If you want those little sparks to burst into flame, you've got to legalize my name. Another thing, now listen, I don't care where I live at. That's just what I said. Or what I live in. I said house, apartment, or flat, any place but sin. I don't look like I've sinned, do I, honey? If you prize me, notarize me, give me an old piece of parchment that I can frame. You've got to legalize my name. And Marvin, darling, I found me a preacher, and I've had any trouble since. Many years, over 30-some years ago, I met a young man. Ended up, he did about 6,000 and some performances on Broadway. That's never happened before in a play. After over 30-some year relationship, friendship, beautiful friendship, I now have a chance to sing a song, a show-stopping song from a show called The King and I. The first time I met this young man, over 30-some years ago, he said, "Let me give you a picture." And he wrote on the picture, "To my oldest and dearest friend." I had never seen that child in my life, honey, unless we wrote the picture. But he wrote it. And that man was Mr. Yul Brynner. And what a song, a showstopper. He may not always say what you would have him say, but now and then he'll say something wonderful. The crazy things he'll do, they hurt and bother you, but now and then he'll do something wonderful. He's got a million dreams and they won't come true. You know that he believes in them, so there you are. That's good enough for you. You'll always go along, defend him when he's wrong, and when he's going strong, Lord, he's wonderful. That man needs your love, so you must give that love. A man who needs your love can be wonderful. Lord, Lord, he won't always say. He won't say what I want him to say. But now and then he'll say, oh, he'll say something so wonderful. All the crazy things he'll do, they hurt and bother you. But now and then he'll do something so wonderful. He's got a million dreams, and they all won't come true. But you know that he believes in them, so what? That's good enough for you. Yes, you go along, and you defend him when he's wrong. And when he's going strong, oh Lord, it's so wonderful. That man needs your love, so you must give that love. A man who needs your love can be wonderful. One big reason I'm so happy to be here tonight. The last time you did the show here, Marv, you better be glad it wasn't your last time you got back. But I haven't, someone was missing here from the house. I watched the show.
What do you mean, the house? No, this is the White House.
No, I said, that's what I just said, didn't I, Don? Didn't I, Mr. President? I said somebody was missing from the house.
No, but this is like the White House. We don't call it,
Well, how often have you been here, dear?
Well, just a few times.
Oh, that's what it is. I come so, well, I come so often, honey, I just call it the house. I don't have time for all that other stuff we're talking about. So anyhow, you know what? And then I looked, and when I watched, the president was greeting everybody with the show, and you weren't here, Mrs. Reagan. That bothered me. And now see, and then when you came back, everybody said, oh, she's back. And they went crazy, you know, and they danced. I'm not going to bother that. My feet are killing me. So you know I'm not going to be hopping up and down here dancing. But I am happy to see you. It's a small shout. So anyhow, and now it just wasn't the proper greeting. You've never been saying, you're back. You know, like they say, hey, you're back. So I want to say it. Because I know they were all glad, but I'm going to lay it on. See, I would say, if I were the one to greet him, hello, Mrs. Reagan. That's so formal, isn't it, dog? Hello, Nancy. That's better, isn't it? It's warm. It's so nice to have you here, where you belong. You can stay down. I know you've been here. You're looking swell. My goodness, Maureen. Doesn't she look swell, Nancy? Doesn't she? You can tell. She looks swell, feels swell. You're looking pretty good yourself, too. Now, I'm not doing bad, am I? You're just glowing. Boy, you're going strong. Can't you feel this room swaying while the band's playing? You feel like it? So, fooled you, did I? Find her a vacant knee, fellas. Are we glad? We're so glad to have you home. Thank you. I said, watch it now. You gonna watch it? Woo! Your time. If you think I fooled you, you should see the producer on the camera. He's going crazy. Oh, wonderful. I feel this room just wait. Thank you. That was daring but exciting, wasn't it? One of my old favorite songs, way back when. So, golly gee, take it from me. We're all glad to see you home again. Jerry. Well, hello, Jerry. It's so nice to have you here where you belong. My, you look swell, Larry. I can tell, Larry. You're just glowing, you're growing, you're still going strong. Pam, I feel the room. Judy, Pam's play. My favorite song, way back when. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Alice, look at the old girl.
Just a minute, darling.
Thank you. Thank you all for a marvelous concert. You managed to include some of my favorite memories of the theater. Times when an audience got to its feet and applauded a showstopper because, well, we just couldn't help it. We were part of that magic that sometimes happens. Theater is ancient, powerful, and irresistible. New York, Beijing, Berlin, you name it, people want that magic. People sit together and realize how much they share and how much they have in common. I said that I remember being in audiences where the show was stopped by a great number. Well, as I looked at this experienced but young company, I realized I've been privileged to be in those audiences a lot longer than any of you. Well, with one possible exception. I can remember Pearl Bailey knocking them dead back in the 1940s. And this week, Pearl's having a birthday. I think we owe her a round of applause and a thank you and a happy birthday. You know, Pearl, that song you did from St. Louis Woman, Legalize My Name, that was 1946. That's right. Well, I looked up the 1946 season just to see what else was happening. And in the 12 months from when you opened in St. Louis Woman, we gave the world Call Me Mister, Annie Get Your Gun, Finian's Rainbow, Brigadoon, and a dozen others. And that was just that year. Broadway's one of America's most successful exports. People all over the world sing our songs and applaud our stars. We've been creating magic that has brought people together everywhere. And so, is theater a force for peace? You bet. And I salute all the men and women of Broadway who've been reminding us for years of our common heritage as human beings. And I salute the wonderful performers we've had here this evening. Marvin, once again, thank you. Thank you also, Pearl Bailey, Jerry Herman, Larry Kert, Judy Kuhn, Pamela Myers, and Jerry Orbach. I look forward to the following concerts in this salute to Broadway. And I thank all of you again, and God bless all of you.